joining us today. On behalf of Sean Hutchinson, the chair of the Maricopa Area Labor Federation, I welcome you to the MALF We Are One luncheon. Unfortunately, Sean is away in D.C. attending a building trades meeting, not able to be here. So as the vice chair of the MALF, I have the pleasure of filling in for him and acting as your MC. April 4th was selected as a day of action all across the country in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. because it was 43 years ago today that Dr. King was assassinated. He was in Memphis, standing with 1,300 striking city sanitation workers against economic justice. Dr. King, along with the coalition of human rights organizations, the religious community, and the union movement, stood with those striking workers and faced down the armed forces of the city and state. In 1957, he was elected as president of the Southern Christian Leadership Council, an organization formed to provide new leadership for the civil rights movement. Dr. King led massive marches in Birmingham, Alabama, in Washington, D.C., where they had 250,000 marchers, where he delivered the famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Dr. King became not only the symbolic leader of the American blacks, but also a world figure. In Arizona, we're also honoring Arizona native Cesar Chavez. As Senator Robert F. Kennedy noted, he was one of the heroic figures of our time, a true American hero. Cesar was a civil rights, Latino, farm worker, and labor leader, a religious and spiritual figure, community servant, and a crusader for nonviolent social change. The significance and impact of Cesar's life, just like that of Dr. King, transcends any one cause or struggle. He was a unique and humble leader, a great humanitarian, and a great communicator who influenced and inspired millions of Americans to seek social justice and civil rights for the poor and disenfranchised in our society. He forged a diverse and extraordinary national coalition of students, middle-class consumers, trade unionists, religious groups, and minorities. Cesar was a strong believer in the principles of nonviolence practiced by Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Wisconsin showed us that we are one when Governor Scott Walker and his deep-pocketed corporate backers made their power grab. It was a big mess calculation. By threatening hard-working families in Wisconsin and all across our country, Governor Walker and his cronies reignited a huge movement of people standing up for human dignity and human rights. Working people are standing together to call for good jobs, not middle-class wrecking ball policies. The attack on the middle-class families, state after state after state, proves that this is not a coincidence. It's not about the economy, a state's budget, or helping businesses thrive. It's all about politics and paybacks. It's an orchestrated plan, paybacks to corporate extremists who want to weaken the voice of millions of working and middle-class families, students, our youth, immigrants, and the jobless. These overreaching politicians are seeing the impact of their backdoor dealings. They've already lost in the court of public opinion, and opposition to their sleazy tactics is growing stronger every day. The coalition of working people and allies that support dignity and human rights is growing stronger every day. We will stand together, we will unite, and we will win. Working people want to be part of the solution, and we've made that clear from New Jersey to Wisconsin to Florida to right here in Arizona. But that doesn't mean balancing the budget on the back of hard-working, middle-class people. It doesn't mean making massive cuts to education, dropping people off of access, or cutting off funding for life-saving transplants. It means working together to restore balance, create good jobs, and growing the middle class, keeping our communities working. That's what the middle class and working families want. And that's what we're calling on for today, not partisan politics and political games.